Okay, Frank, you've got the recording going. We're going to get this call started. It's going to be a great call here today. Hi, everybody. John Van Derzen. I've got my business partner, Joe Mohammed, on the call with me here today. We want to welcome all of our impactors from around the world, all of our guests to our global building training call here today. It's a special call. We're going to jump right into it. And what we're going to do here today, we're going to share with you exactly how we built some huge global teams in the past and exactly how we do it. Now, the magic for that is if you copy it, you're going to get the results that you want to get, because we're going to give you a precise roadmap that can take you from wherever you are right at this exact moment to wherever it is that you want to go. We don't care what your past experience is. It's completely irrelevant. If you follow this plan and if you take action, you're going to win. So first off, let's talk about timing. You know, Frank and Hans, they launched Impact 101 52 days ago. They did it with zero fanfare. You know, it wasn't one of those situations where, you know, companies do, they pre-launch something, they try and hype a bunch of people, they try to get them to send them some money so they can finish building a company. That's not what was done here, because Impact 101 is a real company and it was launched ready to go. Nobody knew it was coming. We just simply went to work and started exposing people to this on January 17th. And now in just 52 short days, we have members in 118 different countries in the world. That's well over half the countries on the planet. And that's a real indication of what the world thinks of what we have here, because this has never been done in this arena before. In fact, most of the world doesn't even have a clue that we exist yet, but we're changing that rapidly. Now, what does that mean to you? You're in on the front end of something absolutely massive. You've got fantastic timing in your favor. All you have to do is decide how much of this enormous pie you want, and let's go get it. So what we're going to do, let's show you how you can seize the moment and capitalize fully. Here's your roadmap. So number one, first off, let me ask you a very important question. Why are you here? What's your why? What do you want to accomplish? Now, for some of you, that might be to help with family bills. Maybe it's to put a child through college. Maybe it's to start a new business. Maybe it's to support a cause you care about. Whatever it is, it's critical that you be very specific about what your why is and what you're looking to do. You want to lock it in your mind, and you want to remind yourself often. Because I always say what we do here is really simple, but it's not always easy. And it's your why that's going to drive you to keep reaching out to new people and to go the extra mile in helping your team, because you're always absolutely clear on exactly why you're doing it. So the next question then becomes, what's your commitment? We know you've got a strong why, so now what's your commitment to go out and get it? And there has to be a balance between your why and what you're prepared to do to make it happen. The bigger your why is, the bigger your commitment needs to be. See, you can't say, hey, I want to raise this huge amount of funds, but I have 10 minutes every fourth Friday to work on it. It's just not going to work that way. So figure it out. Do you have 2 hours a week to put towards it? Do you have 2 hours a day? Maybe you've got 10 hours a day. Only you know that answer, because you know your own situation, but you want to be very honest with yourself about what kind of time you can commit to this, and then make that commitment and stick to it no matter what. Because it's your commitment to following through on it that's going to make your why happen. A great thing about the system that we're going to show you here in a few minutes, you can build very effectively with just 2-minute segments. Okay, so the next thing is to understand what our role is here. Our role is simply to expose people to some high-powered information and sort them out. We are sorters. See, we don't chase, we don't sell, we don't convince, we don't put people in headlocks, we just sort people. And there's two very important things that happen when we do sort people. Number one, the more people we sort, the bigger our team becomes, and that's awesome. And then number two, we get the extraordinary privilege of being able to change people's lives and make an impact in ways that we can't even imagine. See, what happens is with some people, we're empowering them to do things and achieve things that they never even thought were possible for them. And for other people, we're actually throwing them a lifeline and we don't even know it at the time. See, let me give you an example on that. There's a great young lady from the UK whose name is Rebecca. Now, I sort of knew Rebecca, but I didn't really know her whole story. I had no idea if this would be for her or not. I just reached out to her to let her know about it. Well, it turns out Rebecca is a single mother. She's a sole provider of 4 children under the age of 9 years old. And right at the precise moment that I reached out to her, Rebecca was in a real tough situation. She had no income, and she was about 5 days away from being evicted from her home with her children because she didn't have the money for the rent. Now, just imagine that for a second. How difficult and ugly of a situation must that have been? Well, I'll tell you what, Rebecca saw what we had. She knew that this was her vehicle to change her situation. All we did, we locked arms, we went to work sorting. Long story short, by taking action, Rebecca received enough donations to pay her rent. She actually paid it a day early. From there on out, she's built a big team around the world, and she's providing for her family and looking after them very well. See, that's life-changing stuff. That's what we get to do by sorting. We get to throw out lifelines to people. So when you know what Impact 101 can do for people, I believe it's truly our duty to expose it to everybody and let them sort themselves out as to whether it's a fit for them or not. So who do we sort? Well, the answer is everybody that we possibly can. That's everybody we've ever had contact with and everybody that we do come into contact with. It's everybody. You make a list of everybody you can think of, you add to it daily, and one by one, you're going to take them through the system and sort them out. Now, at the same time, we're going to sort everybody else, whoever comes near us. And you might think that's a little crazy, running it past total strangers. I'm here to tell you it's a lot easier than you might think, and it can lead to some big results. I can tell you one of the biggest producers I ever had on my team was the clerk at a grocery store. I sorted her out while I was getting my food. She got the picture. She built a big team. Another time, I met a guy on a ferry traveling from Victoria to Seattle. I sorted him out. He got it. The timing was right. He built a big team. All it takes is just coming out of your comfort zone a little bit and knowing what to say, and we're going to share that with you here in just a little bit. Now, the first rule of sorting, we never, ever prejudge anybody. We have no idea what's going on in their lives, and we have no idea what people are capable of. Just think about Rebecca for a second. And we have no clue as well if this would even be for them or not. We just don't know, and it can be a very costly mistake to try and guess, because I can tell you it's the worst feeling in the world when you decided that a particular person wouldn't be interested in this, and then 2 weeks later they call you and they're all excited to tell you about Impact 101. It's not a fun moment. You don't want to let that happen to you. And even more importantly, we don't know who they know. See, what if they knew a Colin Simmons or a Duncan Wood or a Joe and Amy Cutler, and yet we made the mistake of not even telling them? We don't know, so we just simply put everybody through the system one by one. We let the system sort them out for us. That's all we do. So you need to understand that there's really only 2 things that we can control when we're sorting people. That's how many people we sort and how good of a message we give them. The rest is completely up to them and the timing in their lives. It has absolutely nothing to do with us. Because if the timing is right for them, you won't be able to keep them out of it with a stick. If the timing is wrong, you won't be able to drag them kicking and screaming in. So we just focus on the part that we can control, telling a lot of people and using the system to power sort them for us. Now, the mission when sorting is always to get answers. And there's 3 possible answers that you can get when you're sorting people. Number 1, yes. Hey, great answer. That's what we're looking for. Get them up, get them going. To me, no is the second best answer. Why? Because now I've got an answer. I can move on. It's all about just getting answers. For me, the worst possible answer is maybe. Because, you know, some maybes are legit. They may just need to look a little bit deeper. But I've found for the most part, a lot of the maybes are just no's that haven't told you no yet. So you don't want to delude yourself into thinking that all those maybes are still in the game just because they haven't said no yet. And certainly don't spend all of your time endlessly reaching back out to them. You want to cut a bunch of those maybes loose, use your time effectively, talk to new people. You'll have a lot more fun. You'll get more results. So it's all about getting answers. The person with the most answers has the biggest team. It's straight up math. It always works that way. So when you look at it that way, it really doesn't matter what any individual answer is. You just want to be getting a lot of answers. And if you're doing that, you'll get a bunch of yeses and you'll get a bunch of no's. Who cares about the no's? It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It just means the timing wasn't right for them. So I always tell people, you want to be like the waitress at the coffee shop. She comes out of the back. She's got the coffee pot. Her mission is to sort the room, find out who wants coffee and who doesn't. She goes from table to table. Would you like more coffee? Yes, I would. Would you like more coffee? No, I wouldn't. When someone says no, it doesn't bother her. She doesn't run in the back room and cry her eyes out. She moves to the next table and she sorts that table out because her mission is to sort the whole room. You want to be like her and you don't want to get tied to any individual answer. So let me just check. Joe, are you on the line? Anything you'd like to add to sorting before we start getting into the system?
Absolutely, John. Thanks. Yeah, just one thing I learned years ago, and you guys listen to this, have fun with it. Be indifferent. Don't consume yourselves with is he going to say yes or is he going to say no? Your only goal is to just sort. That's all. Just sort. Just get the people the information. Let them decide for themselves. Collect a decision. That's it. When you change your mindset, it becomes fun. Just like the waitress at the coffee shop. Do you think she has a problem going around going, hey, who wants coffee? Who wants coffee? No different than myself or John or some of the top leaders. That's all we do is we just contact people. Here's the information. Get back to me or I'll get back to you, and that's it. That's what makes it fun. The minute you start having fun with it, it becomes effortless. Everything changes. It's the biggest thing. I find that brand new people or people that have been in the industry a long time, they stress out over it. Don't stress. Just let it go. Just be indifferent. Some will come, some won't. So what? There's always somebody waiting to get started, to get involved with you. That's probably the only thing I want to add, John. Thank you.
All right, good stuff, Joe. And you always have the best line ever. Amateurs sell, professionals sort. So keep that in mind. We are sorters. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the system and why it's so important. So the very first thing that you want to remember is that people will evaluate any opportunity based on three different things. Does it make sense? Will it work for me? And can I do this? So if you just spent an hour talking somebody into a coma about Impact 101, they may see that it makes sense. They may see that it could work for them, but they're never going to be able to see themselves doing what you just did. The difference with the system is all we do is say a couple sentences. We direct them to the videos so that then when they evaluate it, they can say, hey, I can do what they just did. And guess what? They can. See, the most valuable commodity in what we do is duplication. You want people to be able to duplicate. Well, to get duplication, you have to be duplicatable. It's absolutely critical. See, you may be so good that you can stand on your head on the street corner, juggle 3 plates with 1 foot, and bring people in all day. The problem with that is nobody else can do that, so there's never going to be any duplication for you. But if you just say a couple sentences, you get them watching the videos, then everybody can do what you do, and now you can get the duplication that you want. So let's talk about how you use the system with people that we know first. Okay? So I just reach out to as many people as I possibly can in any way that I possibly can. I find phone always works the best, but I also do it with personal messages on Facebook. I text, I Skype, WhatsApp, however it is I can reach people. And I just ask them a simple question. Could you use more money? The reason I ask is I found something really special that's working very well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple of short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? That's all we do. Okay, that's it. It's right there on your screen. Get good at saying that, and you're going to be very successful here. Now, once you've said that, now comes the moment of truth, because they're going to ask you, well, what is it? Here's where you have to show some amazing restraint, because you're going to be excited. You're going to want to launch into a big tirade of what it is. Don't do it, because number one, the videos will explain it way better than you ever can. And number two, you don't want them thinking they're going to have to explain it to everybody. Tell them nothing more, because you always want the tools to do the work. So I just say, hey, the videos explain it much better than I can. I'm going to send them now. When can you watch them? And you might have to say that 3 or 4 times, but it's critical that you stand your ground, because you want to create the curiosity and you want the system to do the work for you. So now you send the links to your mobile landing page and website, and you direct them always to watch videos 1 and video number 2. They've told you them when they can watch them, so you want to follow up right after that. Now, they're probably going to have a few questions for you. That's a great time to bring on your inviter or a team leader to help out with the 3-way call, so you can get their questions answered. You can also show them that there's other people that will be here to support them too. You can also plug them into some of the recorded calls on the site to help them get the big picture of the global movement we have happening. You always just want to use the tools. So now they either get it or they don't. Remember, all we're doing is we're sorting them out. If they got it and they're ready to get started, I like to ask them 2 questions. Number 1, are you ready to make your donations immediately when you join? And number 2, are you ready to start sharing this with people right away? See, I want to make it very clear to them, this isn't a spectator sport. This is about people taking action. And if they say no to either one of those things, I tell them it's best they wait until they're ready to do both of those things before they get started. If they say yes, then I get them signed up and immediately get them engaged. Joel's going to talk about how you get your people engaged here in just a few minutes. So now let's talk about the people that we don't know. How do we sort them out? Now, to me, this is the most fun part of it. Because, understand, we all come in contact with tons of people every single day just doing what we normally do. So imagine if we could sort out all of those people along the way too. It's pretty simple to do. Here's how we do it. First off, you have what I call the slow start and the fast start. You choose the one that works for the situation. Okay, the slow sort is for somebody you've just met. You're going to be around them for a while. There's no rush to sort them out. So maybe that's someone you're sitting beside at the baseball game, sitting beside on an airplane. So what I do with those people, I just chat away. I let it all happen very naturally. Eventually, I ask them a question, which starts the whole process. What do you do for a living? They're happy to tell me all about it, and then they always ask me, what do I do? I just say, I sort people, and that's all I say. I can tell you what, they've never heard that before. They have to ask a question. What the heck is that? Well, I sort out who's happy with where they're at, who could use more money. Again, they're going to ask you a question. Now you just go back to what we always do. I've got something really special that's working very well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple of short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? Taking them right back through the system. See, the key with this now, though, is to immediately change the subject, because they're going to want to ask you a whole bunch of questions, and you just keep saying the videos explain it better than I do, and you start talking about something else. You always want the system to do the work for you. Let's talk about the fast sort. Okay, that's when you have a quick contact with somebody. So you've got to get into sort mode real quickly. Maybe it's at the grocery store, maybe it's at the gas station. I just ask people a simple question. Do you know anybody that could use more money? 9 out of 10 times they always say, yes, me, I could. So what do I say? What we always say. I've got something really special that's working well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple of short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? And away we go through the system again. See, the key to sorting people that you just met is just relax, have some fun with it. I treat it like a game. I don't put any pressure on myself. I don't care what anybody says. The game for me is to see how many people I can sort, because I know if I'm sorting, as Rick Ricketts always says, I'm going to find the people that are looking for me. So if you blow it, don't worry about it. There's 7 billion more people out there, and you get to try again in 30 seconds. So just come out of your comfort zone, make it a habit. I'll tell you, you'll find some absolute gems out there that you otherwise would have walked right by. So it always comes down to just running the numbers. It's all about getting eyeballs on the videos. The more people you expose and run through the system, the bigger your team gets. It's just simple math. Okay, so now your person's gotten started. They've seen it. They've joined as a member. What do you do from there to get them engaged and get them going? Well, there's no better person I can think of than Joe. He's an expert at this. Joe, could you fill us in how you get your people up and going?
Absolutely, John. This is probably the most important part of this whole thing. Everything else is really simple, but I remember I was taught years ago that the job doesn't start till somebody gets started. I mean, everything else beyond sorting and stuff, that's fun. For me, that's a lot of fun. But if you decide to join, now I've got my work. So what do I do? So a lot of people go, well, what am I going to do with a brand new person? First thing I do is I send them to the training call. This training call that's recorded in your back office. First thing I do, I always have them get on with the training. The second thing I do is I get them to put a list together of people that they want to talk to. The third thing I do is I basically have them invite people to the information, and I actually do how can I say this, the explaining for them. Because you remember, when a brand new person comes in, the only reason they're signing up, the only reason they're joining is they believe that they can do it. How can you make that for them believable? Is exactly John said. You got to teach them how to sort, which is it's not a big deal. Just collect a decision. The second thing is, how do I train somebody? Get them to the training call. What's the third thing? Have them on the call with you so they can listen and learn. The biggest thing for me is that you got to show them that you have to support them. And that's all I do, is I make sure that I get them going. I get them their list. And I imagine getting somebody started today and having 2-3 people sign up for them the same day or next 24 hours or 72 hours. What is that going to do for you? What's it going to do for your brand new person? That is the most important part of anything that I've ever done, is getting your people started. You have to get them started in the right way and direct them. A lot of times they're scared, they're nervous, but I'll tell you guys what, the training call that you guys are listening to right now, that's world class. I've been doing this a long time, and John does such a fantastic job on it. I tell you guys what, that's all I do. Get them listen to the call, have them put their list together, and just kind of walk them through the system and the process. And that's all I do. And I'll watch your business, watch the system, watch your donations, watch everything else just take off on its own. It's awesome. It really is awesome. Thank you, John.
All right, good stuff, Joe. I think it's funny, Joe is sitting in the parking lot at a skating rink. His son had a playoff game this morning. The game just finished. That's commitment to what we do. He's sitting in his truck at the skating rink, and I'm sure someone just came and jumped in his truck or banged on the window. So it's all good. That's what we do. We're just normal people living normal lives out there. So good stuff, Joe. One thing while we're on the topic of getting brand new members engaged, it's really important. Go have a look at the personally invited members underneath the Impact Team button in your back office. You'll probably have a few members that have signed up there, but for whatever reason, they just haven't taken the next step of setting up their membership and choosing their grids. Maybe they don't know how to do it or what to do. They caught the vision enough to sign up. Reach out to those people right away. Help walk them through those steps, get them set up properly, reinforce that it all starts with just getting those things in place and that you're here to help them every step of the way. Now, one of the goals that we've always had is when we're looking to build something big, we're looking to personally invite 40 people. It's particularly important to personally invite as many people as you can to Impact One because we have the Follow Me feature in the grids. That's because when your personally invited people complete the grid, they're going to come and follow you into your next grid at that level, and they're going to take another spot there. Their team follows them too. So if you have 3 people following you, it's good. If you have 10 or 20 or more people following you into your grids will just fill up quicker over and over again. So the more people you invite, the faster your grids fill up. It just keeps happening. Now, from experience, we've found that if you set a goal to invite 40 people, this is if you're looking to build something really huge, you want to be looking at inviting 40 people over a period of time. What we've found, roughly 25 of those people are going to do very little, if anything at all. 12 of them are going to become pretty serious part-time builders, and 3 of them will usually become huge builders, and they're going to go crazy with it. It's just the way it's always seemed to work. We never know who those 3 people are going to be. We just keep sorting, and when we do that, we know they're going to emerge. Now, of course, we never find our 40 in just one day. We focus on finding the first one. We help them get going. Then we find the next one. We help them get going. And then we just keep chugging along. And what do we do when we find our 40? We keep doing the simple things. We go find another 40. It really is that simple. Now, one of the things that we've always had tremendous success with is we always put together a 90-day blitz of building. We've used it to very effectively take our teams from 10 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour in a really short time frame. Joe, you're the expert on the 90-day blitz. You've executed many of them very, very effectively. Could you just outline it for the people, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, John. So one of the biggest things, like John said, it's easier to go fast than it is to go slow. With going fast, what happens, you start building what's called synergy in your group. You got success, you got people, having a lot of success, then that brings on even more success and people want to be part of it. So just imagine this, okay? So imagine you calling somebody up and say, hey, I got something for you. I want you to watch these videos just like we're doing in the system, but you're kind of nonchalant. The guy goes, well, what are you doing? Well, I just got started. I'm kind of doing this on the side. I'm not, what happens when you have that kind of a conversation, when you're not committed? People can sense commitment. People want to join people that are going somewhere, that are doing something, that really want to make a big difference in their lives and other people's lives. When you commit yourself, what happens? You start to draw people towards you where they want to do what you're doing. They want your success. No one likes to be left behind. I find that too many times people get started in something and they just kind of treat like a hobby. They'll do one call here, one call there. Well, you can't do anything like that. No one will take you seriously. When I get started with a 90-day blitz. What is that? That's getting a number, basically a number of people that I want to contact every single day. So for right now, it's 7. 7 times 90, you guys can do the math. Out of the 90 days that I do the 7, I'm going to have an X amount of people. If you guys go in your back office on the resources on the 90-day game plan, you'll see what we're talking about. We kind of broken it down. But I'll tell you guys something. 2 things really happen to you. One is people take you seriously and they want to be part of you. And number 2, it's going to change your life. I've done this a few times and it's changed my life many times. And you know what? People will gravitate towards you. They'll start going, man, I want to be part of these guys. These guys are moving. But this is the biggest problem in this industry, or in anything that I've ever seen in the past, is people take it as a hobby. Commit yourself. If you can do 1 a day, do it 1 a day, every day for 90 days, 2 a day, 5 a day, 7 a day. And I'm telling you guys, you have to get the courage to do it. It's going back to the system. So I'm doing the 90-day blitz. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to take 1 step back. and I'm going to do a 90-day blitz, but I'm also just going to do sorting. So I'm having fun doing the 90-day blitz. I'm getting somebody started. I get them to the training call. I have them do the exact same thing I'm doing. I get them committed like I am because I sell them on my mission. I'm going to do this next 90 days. Guess what a brand new person will say? I want to do what you're doing, Joe. This is what I want to do. Awesome. Can you do 7? Can you do 5? Could you do 10? What can you do? I'll do 5. Perfect. Now imagine if you had a bunch of people doing that you're bringing in. This is what I'm saying, guys. The 90-day blitz will change your life. You just have to do it. You got to take action and commit. And you know what? When we say commit, we don't say commit to your wife or your husband or your kids. Commit to yourself. The most important person in your life is yourself. Commit to yourself. Put it down on paper and just start and go for it. And you'll see, I guarantee 2-3 weeks of doing it, you're going to see a big difference. I am not kidding you. This is one of the biggest things for me is that 90-day blitz. It's changed my life. It's changed a lot of people's lives. Is there anything else you want me to cover, John?
No, I think that's good, Joe. I appreciate it. It really, the 90-day blitz, I mean, you do it correctly. You do it on a consistent daily basis. You get committed to it. You can advance your team's growth. You know, what would normally take you a couple years to do, you can compress into 90 days. And that's what we all want, bigger results faster. That's what's going to get it there for you. So let's move on to a couple new things here. Number one, always use the resources. Everything's been put in place here. All you have to do is direct people to the resources, be the traffic cop. For example, here on our videos page, you know, the blue button on your dashboard that says videos, click on there. You'll see all the different language videos, all the different support videos, the training video, everything is there. So we never have to be the person delivering the whole message. We just point people to the videos and the tools which will show them what they need or answer their questions or help them with what they need. That's how you build efficiently. That's how you build productively. We've also put up the weekly webinar schedule under the System for Success button. So again, you want to be able to plug people into that. You can see it right there, weekly webinars. Okay, use all of the tools. They're all there 24/7. That's how you build a global team. Let's move on. We've got a fantastic, what's this slide here? Okay, that's just showing our weekly schedule. So no worries about that. That shows our weekly schedule. You can plug into that. We've got our Facebook group, you know, tremendous community of people from all over the world coming together to share the resources, share the information, and share the positive drive that we have going. If you're not part of our Facebook group, make sure you get on there and join that group. The dashboard. You know, this is the nerve center of your entire business. These 6 boxes across the bottom, that's what's going to drive your whole business forward. When you see color in these boxes and a number, it means you've got something to do. You've got the donation to send button. You can see here, oh, I got to send a donation. Jump in there and get it done. You want that off your plate. You want a 0 there. You want that box in gray. As you move across, active personals. That's the only box you want with the big number. You want a bunch of people following you through the grids. Beside it, unread messages. That's how we communicate with everybody and get valuable information to you very quickly. So log into your back office. When you see a number in the unread messages, get in there, click on it. It's going to tell you about a special call, a special new tool, a special way that you can just build quicker and easier. Pay attention to what's happening on your dashboard. As we all know, we have 8 different grids. They range from the $40 grid up to the $4,800 grid. Each of these grids is a completely separate donation stream for you. So what you want to be able to do, be in as many of these different grids as you can, because then you have more donation streams. Now, we all know our situation better. You know, you know what works for you. If you can only start with 1 or 2, start that way and focus on working your way up. But get into as many of these grids as you can. That's what's going to really expedite your story and expedite the number of donations coming to you. Okay, payment methods, we always talk about that. We added in a new one this week, ORU. You'll see it in your back office if they're available in one of the countries that ORU services. You want to have as many different payment methods as you can in your back office. ORU is a good one for members to be able to exchange donations globally. And that's what it's all about, just facilitating the speed of your team, of the donations of your platform. So have as many different donations as you or different payment methods that you can. You can see where Frank is circling here. In the US, you've got your other, all of us have our other payment methods. In the US, they have so many more options. They've got Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Google Pay, Apple Pay. Put in as many as you can. Make it easy for people to donate to you. You'll find it'll go much, much smoother when you do, and much quicker. I want to remind everyone that we put the timers into place this week on the donations to send. You can see it here. They sit right beneath the donations to send box. So look at the top example. That's a person, you know, you can see that timer bar sliding along underneath there. Okay, they're about halfway through where they're going to get in a situation here if they don't make their donation. Look at the bottom one. This person has completely neglected to make their donation. So the timer has gone red. They've now been suspended in that grid. Okay, understand that you're only being suspended in that grid if you haven't made your donation in a timely fashion, only for that grid. And the way that you get out of that is you simply make your donation and the system will automatically unsuspend you. This is only for a small percentage of the people. It's now down to, I think, 1.3% of all donations aren't made in the required time frame. So it's real important. Pay attention, facilitate, get your donations out there quickly, and then everything works as it should be. Moving on, 2 big calls coming up this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see the Tuesday call. We go at 9 o'clock Eastern, North America. Reminder, we've got a time change this week here in North America. So that's going to affect the time zones in these other places. So make special note, this Tuesday call will actually be at noon Wednesday afternoon in Sydney, Australia, due to the time change here. We've got our call on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. With the time change here, that'll actually be 8 o'clock UK time and 7 a.m. Thursday morning in Australia. So make a note of that. Joe, any last words of advice before we wrap up the call?
No, the only thing I want to say is, guys, have a great week. Use the resources. I mean, we're spending a lot of time putting it together for you guys. Use them, share them with your people, and watch everything go your way. Thanks again for having me on the call, John, and everybody have a great week.
All right, good stuff, Joe. You know, that's what we tell people. Use the simple things we shared, hit it with urgency, and I can promise you massive action will always produce massive results. It always happens. So with that, we're going to wrap up the call. Let's keep it simple. Let's think global. Let's use the tools, and let's go out there and impact some people. Have fun, everybody. Thanks for being on the call. Have a great weekend.